Welcome back to the Gene Key of the Day. Today we are in for a beautiful journey through the 59th Gene Key. The sun has been in the 59th since the 23rd of August, and it will be there until the 29th. And there's a couple important and special things to point out about the sun's placement right now. As you can see here, the sun is teaming up with Jupiter. They've been within a couple degrees of conjunct throughout its whole passage through the 59. And on the 27th, so tomorrow, on Friday the 27th, they will be in exact conjunction. This is a very wonderful time of the year, whenever the sun comes around to touch right in to Jupiter, this expansive spiritual essence, the guru, the place that brings great benefits and benevolence and blessings and bounty to our lives. So right now there's a lot of vitality and expansion teaming up within this 59th gene key. So I'm glad I have my book here. The 59th key, the shadow is dishonesty, and the gift is intimacy, all the way up to the transcendence of transparency. So if any of you have read this key, you will understand that this is a super potent time for our relationships again, as well as our sexuality. Richard says in the very first pages of this key, he says, "There is no more topical issue within the entire human genome right now than the 59th. So it's definitely part due to the fact that it's programming partners with the 55th, which you can't see on the other side of that wheel, but we know, remember, programming partners, opposite of the wheel, exact opposites. So, yes, the 55 bringing such a great mutation to the individual capacity to break through our victim states into freedom is naturally and inherently triggering this 59 right now. Supposedly, it's one of the most alive, most relevant keys right now. And the 59 is supposedly bringing the mutation through on a collective level, opening up the planetary heart. But in order to do this, we must truly face the places and the space between us, you and I, you and your partner, you and your friends. There's a supposed genetic mistrust that we sort of carry around in the aura of humanity. And this is the dishonesty. It's the place that these two planets are bringing a lot of attention to. There's a lot of expansive energy, but perhaps Jupiter brings an exaggeration to the dishonesty. If you remember us talking about the shadow of the planet, Jupiter having the tendency to go overboard with something, touching into that shadow frequency of the key. So overboard with the dishonesty, extreme hiding. We have to really keep our eyes open for this. Dishonesty is a really understandable but real deep place where we just are afraid of each other. And so this is an invitation. This is a time where we are being drawn in to the inquiry of how am I hiding from you? And where might I be hiding inside of my own self, from myself, to even know that I'm hiding from you? So, and how can I become more transparent? And how can I become more vulnerable? There's so much vulnerability in this key. So let's feel into that space of intimacy. Intimacy is truly a very alchemical gift. This whole key is very alchemical. it has this purification that's happening. And it's peeling off the layers of our heart and of our sexuality, and the places where reproduction has been based on survival and fear. But intimacy calls us into the place where we sublimate all of our raw sexual desire and all of that creative energy. We sublimate it into that inner alchemy, that place where we are walking the fine line of being alive and knowing that everything is a mirror of that one desire to be free. So, dealing with attractions, dealing with all the mirrors of the people in our world, we have to continually transform the energy, or else we're dispersing it and we're leaking. So this is calling us all really into a place of honesty of how we feel, but also a real taking an inner responsibility and choosing to exercise our capacity to sublimate and turn our inner desire into that spiritual essence of us truly coming into our essence and our awakening, and knowing that it is our liberation from suffering that we seek. So the last thing I'll say is that we have the wonderful opportunity to have a full moon right at the end of the cusp, right when the sun is moving into from 59 into 40, literally minutes. It's so close. The moon will be full on the opposite side of the wheel on the sky. Again, full moon when the moon and the sun are in opposition. So working with programming partners there. So again, it's very powerful that we've gone through this amazing journey with the Ring of Union. And Venus is still making her way through the Ring of Union. It's not over. And Jupiter is still hanging out here. But the sun has just made its trek from 7 all the way through. See this Ring of Union. And now we will come into the Ring of Alchemy after that. But here we are at the end of this Ring of Union, culminating into a full moon. So the last new moon, remember, where we seed our intentions in the start of a new cycle, was in 4. And we see the culmination of that new moon and what we put into that in the full moon. So here's a time where we get to see where the seeds of our understanding and opening into forgiveness are culminating into deeper intimacy and transparency. Take a look at your life and see how this full moon reflects what you laid down when the moon was new with the sun in 4. And actually the last thing I'll say is that we're now in Virgo. So the sun has just passed from Leo, from the fiery, radiant heat of the lion in the summer flame up here in the northern hemisphere, and has moved into this more grounded, disciplined, practical, but also very devotional energy, spiritually attuned energy of Virgo. So we can feel the coming of autumn, because Virgo is this key that brings us into autumn. So salutations, everybody. I hope you enjoy this incredibly deep journey with the 59. And there's so much need for great respect, great patience for the subject of our sexuality and how we can do the genetic laundry and clear this dragon in our genome so that we can truly mutate into the humans that we are here to be. All right. Enjoy your journeys, and we'll see you next time.